I can't hear you, man. How's everyone doing? So, I'll let you in on a secret. For 40 years, I've been trying to learn how to dance. Every teacher I hired quit on me. So I decided to hire the best in the world. So everyone, with loud, thunderous applause, please welcome my new dance teacher, Madhuri Dixit-Nene. Clearly, these two need no introduction. But, you know, let me just remind you for some of those who are a bit younger than I am, okay? So Madhuri is clearly one of the most popular leading actresses in Indian cinema, known for her powerful performances and amazing dance skills that you just saw. And she wowed audience in classic films like, you know, Tejab, Ram Lakhan, Sajan, Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, Devdas, and many, many more. 6 Filmfare Awards grace her mantelpiece at the house, okay? And that's out of a 16 record nomination that she got in Filmfare Awards. And that's just the Filmfare Awards, okay? Let me just read a list of awards she has won. Pretty much anything that you can win in Indian cinema, Madhuri has won them, and that's why I need the paper, because I won't be able to remember those, okay? So Madhuri has won Kala Abhinetri Award, Platinum Diva Award, Screen Award, Vogue Bollywood Beauty Legend Award, right guys? Zee Cine Award, just to name a few. And to top it all off, she was awarded the Padma Shri, one of the highest civilian honors by the government of India in 2008.
Thank you. Thank you.
She's also a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, and her husband is an accomplished cardiothoracic surgeon, Dr. Shriram Nene. Now, Ram is a product of some of the top cardiac schools in the country, Washington University and UCLA, and practiced for over a decade before moving to India with Madhuri and their 2 lovely sons. Together, they started Dance with Madhuri, an initiative to help teach everyone in the world about dance and want to expand it to include music, acting, and medicine. I've known both of them for a bit. And there is one thing for which they do not give out an award. But if they did, Ram and Madhuri will win it hands down every year of their lives. And that one thing is humility. They both have hearts of gold, and they have filled their lives with family, love, selflessness, and yes, humility. Madhuri and Ram, it's a joy to welcome you to the Google stage.
Thank you very much, Amit. It's our pleasure to be here. And, you know, Amit and I spent a bit of time together last summer, which he may or may not have told you about. We did a 6-day trek in Ladakh, and we started about 9,000 feet, went all the way to 17,500 feet, and this was the sort of trek that humbles any one of us. And this guy was like Iron Man. You know, he came in, flew in at the last minute on Diamox, and the rest of us were all having our vasodilation headaches. And, you know, I mean, you can imagine walking between 10 and 15 miles a day at that altitude. It really tests you. And the bottom line is having friends like him is what matters in anyone's lifetime, and that's what makes it full. And so it's an absolute pleasure to be here amongst friends and family, and we're really looking forward to this.
Thank you, Ram, for the kind words. Okay, now you all guys, be nice to me in the future, okay? All right, so Madhuri, when you started on the Bollywood scene, you were known for your dance style. How long have you been dancing?
Well, I've been dancing ever since I was 3 years old. I'm classically trained. I've learned Kathak. That's a North Indian style of classical dancing. Yes, woo! I love that style. I really love that style. Because I feel once you learn Kathak, you can do any style in the world, and which I have done through my movies. I'm a very, very passionate actress. It's my first love, acting. But dance has always been my passion. I've grown up dancing. So even when I did my films, I try to do some extra, you know, that add a little bit of extra with me and Sarojji. As Saroj Khan, the choreographer, yes, everybody knows about her. We formed a lovely team, and we worked so well together because we were both passionate about dancing, and we wanted to take Indian film dancing to a different level, you know, and that's what our, you know, our goal used to be every time we did a song together.
Awesome. But what drew you to dance? Was it instant when you were like 3 years old? I'm like, this is what I want to do.
You know, it came, I don't know, to me, it came naturally. I just was attracted to dance, and I think, you know, it's everything. Dance to me is everything because it keeps you fit, it makes you feel good, you know, it makes your soul feel good, and it's just, it's a beautiful way to express.
And there are lots of parents in the audience here who are probably putting their kids in dance school right now. What advice would both of you have for those parents here?
Well, I would say go to your computers and Google us. Dance with Madhuri is my website, and you can go on that. You can take a look. There's so many different styles we are teaching on this site. And I think what is important is to see what your kid takes to. Like your child has to take to a certain style of dancing. And they will just know it within their souls that, you know, this is what I want to do, or that is what I want to do. And let them follow their heart, because, you know, if they do something they love, they'll really, really give it their all. And all the styles are there under one roof on Dance with Madhuri. So I would first like them to try it out and see and select which dance they would like to learn. They can learn it on the website, or they can go to a school and learn it. You know.
I think to add one thing to that, dance to me is about happiness, confidence, and health. And what it epitomizes is a holistic way to kind of take care of yourself. It becomes a metaphor for life in some regards. So when we put this project together, quite an interesting journey in that, as some of you know, I grew up here. And I had done some software entrepreneur work at the age of 14 and had a company, and my Indian parents said, you either become a doctor or engineer, or we won't pay for it. Does that sound familiar to you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, and so the thing was, I, being the dutiful son, became a doctor, and I became a heart surgeon, and I really loved my career, very rewarding, took care of some amazing people in very difficult times. But my problem was I couldn't scale it. No matter how hard I worked, 300 to 500 patients per year. And the issue for me was that there's 7 billion people on the planet. So the journey I made was that if I could take my original skills combined with her media talent and then amalgamate them with brick and mortar, we could change the way people think about medicine. And we moved to India in 2011, kind of a bold thing. You can imagine my parents' face. What are you doing? You are the head of a hospital, you are a partner in a group, you've been practicing for 10 years, and you do 300 to 500 cases a year, and you're just abandoning all that to go and start a startup or something like that? I don't know, it's a journey many of you might have made or will make at some point in your life, but daunting nevertheless. And so then during the course, I was building out the healthcare constructs. And one day she said to me that, you know, culture as we know it is changing. And I learned dance and acting because I loved it. It was passionate. And what ended up happening was now in the cinemas and other things, it's a lot of commercialism. She's like, if I could teach this, I could change the way people think. And I'm like, well, you're facing the same problems that I am, that we can't scale it. So what if we put a team on this and scaled it? And what ended up happening was 3 months of rapid prototyping and engineering, launched it in 2013, didn't know if it would work. And what we ended up finding out is that people could learn remotely, and they could extend their level and move forward. So the idea is to build a global village for culture, where everyone is equal. And you know, I think the last thought is genius exists in everyone. The standardized tests don't examine it. And the problem is there's a lot of people on the planet who don't have the opportunities that we do. And so the idea is if you can take this out to them and find them and nurture that kernel of genius into a full-grown plan, you will change the way people think and how things happen. So her love of dance kind of spurred this, and it became a platform, and it grew. And so I'll show you some of that later.
Yeah. Great. Thank you, Ram. That's great. So, as you said, you were raised here. And I know for a fact that before you met Madhuri, you did not follow Hindi cinema very much, okay? So what happened, dude? When someone mentioned Madhuri for the first time, did you run to your computer and Google her?
That's a good way to set it up there. You know, I might have. I don't know. The thing is, my folks are from Mumbai, and I could only speak Marathi. I didn't speak Hindi, and so we hadn't grown up watching Hindi cinema. And the other thing was, I was at UCLA, and so we took care of a lot of the Hollywood industry. And I'll be very candid with you, that the industry there is completely crazy. I mean, the types of people you meet, I mean, the last thing I want to do is see someone in the industry. But then I met her brother, and he was phenomenal and very down to earth, very grounded, and kind of fit our sort of overall mindset, and agreed to meet her. And I think I probably might have Googled her back then, or Yahoo'd her or something.
He just doesn't want to admit it, okay?
No, I'm giving him that.
It's cool. We all know how it works. It's okay.
But yeah, the rest is history, and there you have it.
So Madhuri, how was it leaving Mumbai, Bollywood, and coming here and living in Denver, rather cold compared to Mumbai, for over a decade? How was it for you?
Yeah, you know, in Mumbai, it's hot, hotter, and hottest. But for the first time, I saw snow and cold and fall and, you know, all the 4 seasons, and it was beautiful. I mean, Denver is a beautiful place to live for anyone. You walk out, and everything that I'd never found in Mumbai, I got in Denver, because, you know, just it was pleasing to the eyes, the air is so beautiful, and there are mountains all around, a very, very beautiful place. You know, in life, everybody has dreams, right? You have goals, you have dreams, and having a family, having kids was a big part of my dream, not just my profession and being an actress or everything else. But for me, this was a big, big deal for me, because I grew up in a big family. We have 4 siblings, and so for me, having kids was, you know, very, very important. Having a husband, a home, and that was a big part of my dream. Of course, I wanted 12 children at one point when I was little, but after I had 2, I was like, yeah, this is good enough. But really, I mean, that's why I enjoyed myself. I kind of throw myself into everything I do, whether it was looking after my kids or my home, or you know, living that life, going out shopping. It gave me a sense of freedom. Because in Mumbai, if I go shopping, there are like 10 people around me, you know, and I was never left alone, basically. But here, I remember the first time I went out just to grocery shop, I had to take my car and go, and my heart was just like thumping. You know, it was like boom, 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 as if I'm trying to do something that I've never done before. And but it just freed me. It gave a sense of freedom. And for me, life is not all about just my profession or just acting or just dancing. It's experiencing every day, you know, the different kind of things you have to go through, the situations and how you deal with them, and the life lessons. You know, I love to live my life, basically. Oh. And so that's what was most attractive about it.
That's so wonderful. That's so wonderful, yes. But talking about movies, you've done like 70+ movies. How many?
78 plus.
78 plus movies. Yes.
Yeah.
Is there a favorite one for you?
You know, everybody asks me that, but it's a very cliched answer. People might say, oh, you're very diplomatic. But it's true, because every movie we do, there's a little bit of me in the movie. But if you like put a gun to my head and say, no, you have to say one movie, which you've really enjoyed, I would say, I enjoyed doing that movie because we were a lot of actors together at every point in the movie, 12 of us, 6 of us. And we really had fun making the movie. Also, it talked about all the values that I believe in, you know, a family and like a, you know, extended family and everybody living together in peace and harmony and all that. And it would be a Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, obviously. Because
all right. So after that question, here's a two-part question. Two-part question. Part one, is there ever pizza and movie night at the home when you put a Madhuri movie and all of you watch it? Number two, when you do that, or when your kids do watch a Madhuri movie, how judgmental are they about your performance?
I'll just tell you one little incident. As I was leaving home, my kids were watching cable, and one of my movies was on, Koila. And they were like, you know, sitting in front of the TV, and I'm like, okay, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. So I left, and I came back in the evening, and on the computer, on one of my kids' computer, there was a little note hanging there which said, Mom. And I'm like, what's this? So I just picked it up, and it was, Dear Mom, why are you acting so funny in Koila? Love, Arun. So for them, it's like, you know, it varies. The reaction varies. And I remember in Gulab Gang, there was this one shot where I raised my you know, hand, and I'm like the big boss, kind of, and I'm doing this. And my kids saw it and just freaked out. And they were doing variations of that. They were walking like a dog, or, you know, doing all that. So nobody takes me seriously in my family. That's what I'm trying to say.
But I think the other comment to make is we don't wear stars on our shoulders. And when we go home, all of that turns off. In fact, all of the trophies you were talking about are all in the office. We don't allow them at home. And you know, we don't watch her films. I mean, I've only seen like a handful since we've been married, mainly because of the Hindi issue. Now I speak Hindi, but the issue is, I think it's about being grounded and not getting caught up in your careers. I mean, whether it's a heart surgeon or an actress or anything else, that's just a job. You're passionate about what you do, but it's the holistic kind of balance that you strike in your life. And just remember that, you know, you're very fortunate, and every one of us is in this room. And there's a lot of people who don't have that. And so the idea is to think of others when you do stuff, and to do it for those reasons rather than for yourself. Although we're very passionate about what we do, regardless of what it is. But I would say the movie nights are generally the Transformers or something like that with the boys. And just hanging out and having some fun.
So how's the move to India been?
I think it's been amazing. I mean, India has changed dramatically. My in-laws, I'm sorry, my family came from Dadar in Mumbai, if you guys have been to Mumbai at all. And I would go back there every summer to hang out with my grandma and grandpa. And so I'd been there and seen it change over 40 years. If you go there now, not just Mumbai, but Delhi, Bangalore, any of these cities, it's come in such a direction. And I don't know if you call it forward, sideways, upside down, whatever, but I mean, it's becoming a Western culture very quickly. And they have some significant issues they grapple with, and yet the culture is so beautiful. And you know, I call Mumbai my Manhattan of sorts, because you can get food any time of day. The people are very warm. And there are different struggles. I mean, traffic is the same everywhere, I found out today. And it was the same. It was the same in LA and same in Mumbai and whatnot. Just variations on the theme. But I think overall it's been an amazing experience. And I would recommend, if you guys get some time, I mean, a lot of you guys I see in the audience are from India originally, and so you understand it. But I think it's so rapidly changing. And I mean, this new prime minister and whatnot is bringing us in a direction which is unfathomed. And even in the last 10 years, the number of advances are amazing.
Cool. So that's great. Now, you moved back to India, and the first question my daughter had for me was, does she go to Sabji Mandi herself now?
No, I think it's back to square one, where I have to pick and choose where I can be or where I can go. But I do try, you know, because after living in Denver and after being so independent, when you go back and everything is a little different then, because when you live there, you take everything for granted, you know. Oh, my maid is going to go and get this, that, and but now when you've lived by yourself and done everything, it's like, I want to go, but how do I do it? So then I'll wear my hat or my big gold glares or something like that, and I feel, oh, this is the proper disguise. Nobody's going to look at me. And while you're buying, you know, your veggies or whatever, and then somebody comes and whispers, can I have an autograph, please? So, oh, I failed again. But yes, I do try to do that. It's a little limited, but I still try.
I would say the truth is this, right? There's not many places she can go in public. Me, on the other hand, I'll go by train, I'll go by bus, and my people will say, no, you can't do that. And it never really bothered me, right? I grew up in the US. The hardest part for me is that I can't change a light bulb without someone saying, no, you got to call this person or do this. I'm like, really? Come on. I grew up in the US. We did everything for ourselves. And so it's been that way a little bit of a change. But for her, I mean, in the US, she would put together the IKEA furniture and the other stuff we got. And she loved it. Yeah, exactly.
And from what little I know, she was much better at it than Ram, okay?
Not true.
So let's talk about Dance with Madhuri, Ram. You're trying to build a community of artists, of dancers, people who love dancing, people who want to learn dancing. Where did the idea come from? Where do you want to take it?
So, you know, the thing is, I kind of hinted at this earlier. Every single one of us has a little genius in him, right? And it just dawned on us that what if Pablo Picasso never got his pencil or pen or paintbrush? What if Marie Curie never got an opportunity to go and learn? And what if Einstein never had an opportunity to write his thesis? And then think how many people in the world never have that opportunity. And so for me, I started out with this health construct to take good evidence-based medicine to everyone on the planet. Because what I saw was that there were a lot of people who weren't getting the opportunities that all of us have in this room and in the US. And even in the US, for that matter, when I was practicing several years ago, 38 million people never had insurance. And the idea is that medicine is one of those things that everyone should have, but it went further than that. And what it became was a platform where we could experiment and we could teach people in a fun and social manner. So this is one of those things where if you gamify learning, you can change the way people learn. I remember learning when I was growing up that it was all rote memorization, right? You must learn this and then throw it up on the test and you will do well. But my feeling is that that really leaves out the bell curve, right? The ends of it. And so what we've done is tried to make it fun and social. At the same time, we've taken dance in particular and used it to stay fit. So I put a fitness band on her, and in 15 minutes, her heart rate sustained was 130 to 160, and her caloric burn was 400 calories. So we put that on our YouTube channel. Just wanted to put that plug in there. And we had like 175 hours of viewing per month. It became like our #1, you know, most viewed thing. And so what we found is people were learning, certainly, but they were using dance as a means to work out. And if you think about it, what would you rather do? Be on a treadmill, you know, looking at a TV or whatever, or have some beautiful woman in front of you taking you through the moves and losing calories in 15 minutes. And then what we did was we knit that together with a social network and a marketplace. So now when these people learn, they're not just learning, but they're creating video resumes. And what they're doing is essentially becoming marketable. So what we're doing is we're discovering talent from all over the planet, not just from, you know, one area. I would love to cue that one video, if we have it, on the Aja Nachale piece.
All right, guys, can we cue the video, please?
I think this tells the story very nicely. So all in all, it became a passion play in that what could we do to change people's lives? And dance was really the tip of the iceberg, because if you take this and build it out to the other verticals, it becomes incredibly thin. So here you go.
Here's the video.
So this is an average lesson.
So before we actually start the lesson, I want you to get familiar with some of the hand mudras. Your right hand with the lotus and the other hand is like a deer hand. 1, 2, 3. So you're curling your hands a pizza style.
मेरा झुमका उठा के लाया यार वे जो गिरा था बरेली के बाजार में मैं तो ठुमका लगा के शर्मा गई बोली घूम कर बता दे के मैं आ गई मुझको लौटा के नाच ले.
Okay, so this is the sign or the hook or the signature step.
आजा नाच ले मेरी यार तू नाच ले.
Chanak, chan, car will be separate.
ओ नाच ले मेरे यार तू नाच ले अब तो लुटा है बाजार.
Rara, 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 ra.
So, speaking of dance, Ram, could you dance before you met her?
Yeah, I could cut a rug, but not like after. I mean, some of the parties we've gone to and some of the things she's taught me, it's another world, you know?
And are you any better now?
I would say so. Can you answer that?
Yeah, I mean, we were at this party and, you know, they were like, oh, you have to dance. Dr. Nene, you got to dance, dance. And everybody was insisting. And there was Ritik and there was Shah Rukh and Farah and everyone. And, you know, yeah, who said that? So all of them and I had to grab him and say, okay, you got to dance on the floor. And he was like, oh, my God. I'm like, we were shooting for all this, and I think he's picked up a lot. Yeah. Just watching. And he was so good on the floor that Farah came up to me and says, he's going to be my next dance partner now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah. You know, he's free of spirit, and he loves to learn, and he is very observant. And whenever we were doing classes or whatever, by the way, he's also done one of the classes where it's called Dance for the Non-Dancers. So, so his training started there.
I will take that.
There you
I'll
go.
take that, yeah.
And I think you should try it.
Yes, thank you.
I mean, I think it's infectious, you know? I mean, you see these people, and it's just, as they say, poetry in motion or fluid, and it really kind of drives you after a while. I mean, there's a lot of things that do, but there's different types of art. This is one of those things that really makes it happiness.
Cool. So in a minute, I'm going to open it up to the audience for questions. If you have a question for Madhuri and Ram, please get to one of these mics. You know the TGIF routine.
I was going to make just one comment. Two comments, actually. The one is it's free, and our goal is to keep it free forever, so that there's absolutely no, you know, impediments or obstacles to the end user. The second is all of the greatest artists are coming on the platform, whether it's Biju Maharaji, Saroj Khan, Terence, Remo, and a host of Jellic and other choreographers. The idea is to create one place where everyone can go and feel free to add and subtract and bring everyone together. And the idea was literally a global village for culture, right? And so that's the idea behind it.
Okay, before I open it up, one question. What's that one piece of technology that you guys can't live without?
In my house, we cannot live without technology. There has to be a gadget for everything in the house, right?
Yeah.
Much.
No, but that's like, I love all my children answer. All right? That's what a guy is supposed to give as an answer. Okay. Now, someone put a gun to your head and said, what's the one piece of technology?
My
Yeah.
goodness, yes, iPhone, easily yeah.
All right, all right, all right.
Okay.
Hang on.
Google.
I'm going to show you some love. I've got my Android phone. and actually, I'll just tell you one other thing. I've got Dance with Madhuri on it. It actually runs better than my iPhone. So try it.
Oh, that's so awesome. Now, we asked people who couldn't get in today to submit a bunch of questions for you. And let me start asking some of those questions that people have submitted for you. Now, many of us who came to the US as adults have found the social anonymity of not being known by anybody something to adjust to. In your case, the feeling must have been far greater. Did you welcome that change? If not, how did you deal with it?
Yeah, it was a welcome change. Because when you're like famous or you're a celebrity in India, there's not much you can do, you know. And the way I worked, for me, life was just, you know, from one studio to another, to another, to another. And I really didn't get to live life normally, you know, like how everybody lives. They go out with their friends, the college friends, and I started very early. I started when I was 16. So I missed out on all that, and not that I'm complaining, but that's the life I knew. And when I moved to Denver, it was, like I said, you know, a freedom for me. Because suddenly I was free to do anything that I wanted to. I could go to the grocery shop. I didn't have to, you know, dress up or do anything. I could just go the way I was. And I could get grocery. I could take my kids out, go to the park, just enjoy everything. And another part of it is when I met Ram. He was into adventure sports, and he used to do all kinds of crazy stuff, and which I had never done in my life. I'm a very careful person, and, you know, very protected, and I just knew that I was, you know, an actress, and I went from one studio to another, and I danced, and I sang, and I acted, and everything. But this was like freedom. I was outdoors. The first day after we met, he said, let's go mountain biking. And like, yeah. And I had not ridden a bike in 20 years. I had done it when I was little, and I had not. And I thought mountain biking is just taking a bike and going on a mountain, right? How hard can that be? And when I went with him, it was like, whoa, I was coming down like rocky things, and I was like, did I just do that? And I was like, at some parts, I was like, you know, I don't think I can do this. And he's like, why? And I said, because I haven't done this in 20 years. So he's like, you cannot mountain bike? I said, no. So there were some portions where I had to carry my bike, and we just walked across and did all that. But it just gave me a sense of freedom, just showed me another, you know, life altogether. And I really, really enjoyed every moment of it.
That's so joyful. Let's take the first question, please.
Hello, Madhuri. Hello, Dr. Nene.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
First compliment first. Madhuri, you are great, amazing gift to this universe. It's really, really amazing. And here, I was not listening anything. I was just staring you, because this is the first time I'm seeing you in person.
Thank you.
Yeah. I have two questions, one to Madhuri and one to Dr. Nene. Madhuri, how does it feel like being Madhuri? Like, do you see it like something special, or like it's kind of God gift, right?
I know, let's put it this way, that you guys make me feel special.
Okay,
So
how does that love feel around you?
Yeah, there's a lot of love around me, and I know everybody's looking at me very lovingly, and it makes me feel special. It makes me feel special, but I don't know, I'm just a very happy person. I'm very positive in life, and whenever I look at something, I see life, you know, like the glass half full, not half empty. So I just enjoy every moment in my life, and I don't think too much about that. I don't think about the fact that I'm Madhuri or, you know, whatever. I'm just a person, and you know, who loves doing things, and I want to share that with my fans now, because I love dancing so much. I want to share that with them, and so you know, that's how I look at it.
Okay, what's the one thing you want to give it to the world other than dancing?
I think joy, happiness, just feel good about themselves. That's something I would really love to give back.
Okay, thanks. Question to Dr. Nene is, what was your first reaction when you met Madhuri?
You know, I don't know what to say. I didn't know who she was.
He was speechless. That's what he said.
Yeah, that.
This man will never learn I've tried teaching him, okay?
I've been married long enough, probably it doesn't matter. But
Now I make him speechless. I don't let him talk.
exactly. What? No, but I mean, what you find, so there's a couple of points. The first is I grew up in LA. I was surrounded by the industry, you know, and so what you found is they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like everyone else. And the issue is that the connect was that we didn't treat each other different, regardless of what our stature was, what we did. And the one thing I loved about her was that she's down to earth and very, very straightforward and focused, and no nonsense. And that's not always the case in the filmy line. I'll tell you that. I think you can answer that. And so we are kind of the unfilmy people, you know, in that we're real and we like to stay that way, and you won't see us going out and doing crazy stuff. I mean, that's fun once in a while, but the bottom line is that it has to be a balance, you know. So the answer is she was real. That's what mattered to me.
Nice.
And certainly with my career and her career, the other comment someone had asked, I think, was the anonymity factor, right? She's the one person who's been everywhere and yet been nowhere. And what I mean by that is they closed the Eiffel Tower for one of her shoots. And imagine that, the Eiffel Tower, the gendarmes, everything else. They went to a glacier in Alaska, had multiple chopper setups and shooting for a movie called Pucar. And yet, for these guys, it's a matter of jetting in, getting in hair and makeup, putting on your clothes, and jetting out. So, you know, in the time we've been married, the one kind of gift was that we could go and do things normally. And the US kind of afforded that, in that she could actually go out and drive to Whole Foods or whatever and buy groceries, which, you know, that doesn't sound like a lot. It sounds like a chore to most people. But for someone like this, it's like freedom.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I really want to thank Google for organizing this. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take the next question.
Hello again, guys. So, Madhuri, at what point in your career did you realize, maybe were you reflecting at some point, that you had made it? Because there are a lot of men and women in India and everywhere in the world who want to be where you are. When did you feel, yes, I've done it?
You know, my film called Tezab was released in '89, and I remember I was not in India when it released. I was here in the US, and I was in Washington, no, Chicago, I think, because my sister was getting married. And my agent at that point had called me, and he said, hit ho gaya picture, hit ho gaya, like that. And I'd never had a hit film. So for me, it was like, oh, good, I have a hit film now. It's a hit, it's a success. And so I was very happy about that. But I had never faced recognition before when I was working, or once in a while maybe. But I landed at the airport, and there was these two little kids, you know, who come and kind of wipe your car sometimes, and they are like, so they were looking at me, and suddenly one of them says, "Are you the 1, 2, 3 girl?" And I'm like, I said, "Yeah." He says, "Can we have an autograph?" And I was so thrilled, you know, I was signing an autograph, and somebody recognized me, and I signed my name, and I wrote Madhuri Dixit, and I gave it to him. And he turns to the other guy and says, "Dekh, bola tha na, dekh, MM, Moini, Moini." So, yeah, that was the first time I thought, oh my goodness, I made it.
Thank you.
All right, let's take the next question over there.
Hi, my name is Kanupriya.
Hello.
First of all, I still feel I'm dreaming. I cannot believe that you are watching me right now. So I have 2 questions. The first is about Dance with Madhuri. I've never danced in my entire life, and it's probably because of that inhibition that you were talking about. And that has grown so much that I'm not at all comfortable dancing. So how would Dance with Madhuri help, and what advice do you have for people like me?
Well, Dance with Madhuri is something you can do in your own time, in your own space. You could be in your own room in front of your computer. Nobody's watching you, you know, and it's just the teacher in front of you and you. And I think somewhere it'll help you get over inhibitions because nobody's watching you do that. And with Dance with Madhuri, you can rewind it 20,000 times and see it again and again and again, which a school doesn't afford you. Because once you go there, the class is just for 1 hour. You come home, and you have to basically work where your memory, wherever your memory is good, that's what you will remember. But with this, you can practice in your own time, in your own space, and you can, every little lesson is split into 15-seconders, So they will teach you step by step every little thing. And I think it'll be easier to learn that way.
Okay.
Let's take the next question over there. I'm keeping time. Sure. I want lots of people to ask questions.
All right, thank you.
I hope that answers you.
Yes, thank you.
Hi, Madhuri. You've got an enigmatic smile. You're a fantastic dancer and definitely a fabulous artist. I mean, we're all crazed here. My question to Mr. Nene is, you were walking down the aisle with the heartthrob of India, right? All the men, I mean, how many letters and emails did you get from all the men from India grabbing this lady?
I don't remember much of that. It was my chief resident year at UCLA in general surgery, and we didn't get a whole lot of sleep. Fortunately, there was a good PR corps there, and they would protect me. But once in a while on rounds, someone would surprise you and say, hey, are you this person or that person? And that was new for me. And so I didn't really live in that. I mean, we were kind of insulated. Our agents and everyone said,
he didn't know what he was getting into.
In short.
That's good. Next question. I'm sorry, I'll have to make that the last question over there.
Hi, Madhuri, Aparna, biggest panka.
Hi,
Aparna. Who among the following is the best dancer according to you? A, Hrithik Roshan. B, Salman Khan. C, Govinda. D, Prabhudeva.
Oh my God.
वो लड़ाई कराएगी आज, हाँ.
Yeah. The thing is that all these guys are such good dancers. But of course, if you take the whole package, I would say, no, not in that sense. Wrong word to use.
Gotta be careful around here.
Yeah, I know. If you take the whole personality and everything, I think that's a better word. It'll be Hrithik Roshan. Because I think, because when he dances, it's like, he just mesmerizes you.
I would say Prabhudeva by a long stretch. He's like on fire. He has no bones. Literally no bones. The guy can twist and do anything.
Yeah, I remember doing Kesara Sara with him. So that was quite a tough song.
So I tell you a story. Ram and I were hiking for 6 days in Ladakh. And 6 days are a long time. Periodically, we'll get bored. And whenever I got bored, I made Ram sing one of those Hindi songs of hers, okay? And with Ram's Hindi, I would be entertained for hours. So Ram, would you please do us the honor?
No.
Yes! And we are going Ek Do Teen for you, okay? All right, guys, let's give Ram a big round of applause. Let's go!
I don't know. So what are we singing?
Whatever you like, one of her songs.
Never fails to put me on the spot here. Last time.
Ek Do Teen is fine.
I really, I need karaoke and all the other stuff.
Oh, we can give you. Ding it dong ding.
Ek do teen, char panch chhe saat aat no. Tera, mara tera.
इनके इंतजार आजा पिया आई बाहर 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13
All right, guys, join me in thanking Madhuri and Ram for gracing us at Google today.
Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you.
An absolute pleasure. Thank you.